All right, guys, let's talk about how to remove your approach anxiety forever. And I know this is a very clickbaity, sexy title, but let's get into it. So, I really wish I got this training 7 years ago because this was me before. And I used to be extremely shy and socially stifled. I felt super lonely and depressed. Like, this guy does not look happy. I was massively scared of talking to girls. I never had a girlfriend until I was 18. I never knew what to say to girls. I was constantly overthinking and constantly in my head. And whenever I saw a girl, I would come up with all of the bullshit excuses possible. I would end up in the friend zone with the few girls that from school that I actually was talking to. They never saw me as this sexual or romantic force, and nothing ever really happened with them. Now, as of today, I have an extreme sense of clarity and purpose over my life. I'm relaxed, confident, and grounded when talking to people. I've had many crazy experiences with beautiful women in over 32 countries. Now, this was in Iceland, this was in Thailand, I believe, this was in LA, this was in the south of France. And the reason I tell you this is not to be like, hey, look at me, I'm this cool. No, it's like I wasn't always like that. And as of now, I'm able to meet really anyone in any city. So a few weeks ago, this is actually interesting. I went to Dubai, and there's two girls that I know in Dubai and that I could meet up with, but they were traveling. They were not there at that time. And so I still managed to set up 3 dates within a time span of like 2 weeks without even using dating apps. That is the crazy part. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this in this video. If you're traveling, if you're, going to different places, how you can really be able to meet anyone in any city, even if you've never done this before. Now, I also met two of my girlfriends literally by talking to them, literally by doing this. What I'm about to show you. Now, let me ask you this. Does the following situation seem familiar to you? The first one is you see a pretty girl and you want to talk to her, but A, you don't know what to say, or B, you tell yourself, it's not the right moment, she probably has a boyfriend, I don't have the time to talk to her right now, she's too tall for me, or, really feel free to insert any excuse here. She's too good looking for me, she's out of my league, I'm not good enough. And the second situation, you are talking to an attractive girl, but A, your conversations often feel like interviews. They're really boring and you ask a lot of questions. You struggle to be sexual. C, you struggle to be authentic and show your true intentions. Or D, she sees you more as a friend than as a potential partner. Now, let me tell you, you are not alone. Because I know exactly how it feels to see an attractive girl and be absolutely paralyzed at the thought of going up to her. I also know how it feels to have 1 hour conversations with women that do not lead anywhere, only to end up in the friend zone later on. And I know exactly what it feels like to be invisible to women and seeing other guys crush it, not knowing what I'm doing wrong. And I'm not going to give you the story of how I was this guy who got bullied and didn't have any friends. I had friends, but whenever I was around girls, like in school, for example, I was the guy they didn't hate, but they also didn't love. Like, whether I came to a party or not didn't change anything. Nobody really cared. And that feeling of feeling invisible was super frustrating, especially when you're a teenager and you don't have confidence. It hurts. Now, I want you to imagine for a minute if you could talk to any girl, regardless of the situation you're in, regardless of how confident you feel, regardless of how many people are around you, regardless of how your hair looks that day, or even how much money you made this month, without having to use weird pickup lines, without having to be someone you're not and, having to play a persona. Like, a lot of guys I see, especially when you get started, they go from the super hardcore nice guy to the bad boy. And sure, to be this bad boy is an upgrade from, being this nice guy who gets stepped over all the time, but you're still not yourself. You're still playing a persona. without being constantly in your head, without feeling like you're about to die every time you approach, how much more confident would you be? How much more money would you be making? How many more dates would you go on? And at the end of this video, you will know the two reasons why 97% of men do not talk to beautiful women, the mental model I've personally used to never feel unworthy of 9s and 10s ever again, and how to talk to any girl in any situation, regardless of how scared you are, regardless of how you feel in the moment. And last but not least, how to never run out of things to say again and always be yourself. Now, the two reasons why 97% of men don't talk to beautiful women can be categorized into here. Like, every reason can be put into one of these two. The first one is the wrong beliefs. Like, most guys have beliefs that just hinder them and don't allow them to be successful with women. And the second reason is they don't have a system. They don't have a system to act upon when they're in the situation, when their anxiety kicks in. Now, how do you approach any girl in any situation? And this is stuff that really took me years to come up with. This is my most condensed knowledge. So the first step is what I call the Godlike Mindset. You really need to develop that. So let me ask you this. You see these women at the bus stop. What is your immediate thought? Well, the first thought most guys, and myself would have, many years ago, is, damn, she's fucking hot. I want her in my life. I wish that was my girlfriend. Now, maybe I had a different thought, but probably a variation of those. Now, the second thought for most guys, myself included in the past, she's not my type anyways. I don't have the time right now. I'll talk to her once I finish work, once I finish hitting my workout. Bullshit. I'm not good enough. Very common. She'll reject me anyways. And this is what I call your current mental model. This is the belief system you have been operating under for your whole life. For really your whole life until now, you have had these beliefs. Now, the first thought, we don't want to change this. Damn, she's fucking hot. I want her in my life. I wish that was my girlfriend. We can keep that. You're still going to see very attractive women and have that first thought. There's nothing wrong with that. But here's where it becomes juicy. So remember the second thought most guys have initially is, she's not my type anyways. I don't have the time right now. I'll talk to her once I finish work. All these excuses. We want to change that part. Let me check if she's cool. Ooh. Let me see if she fits my standards. Let's have fun. You should be unsure if you like her yet. The only purpose of approaching is getting to know if she fits your standards, not the other way around. And back when I started talking to women, this concept was so foreign to me because I always saw the girl as the prize. And it's almost like, me, a little peasant, I'm allowed to talk to thy, noble lady. Switch it. And it becomes so effortless. This is the first thing. You need to believe that she is winning, that she's gaining from talking to you, not the other way around. This is super powerful. And this is what I call your 2.0 mental model. This is your new belief system that you can use. You need to use. Now, why do these excuses arise? The first reason is because of an inherent sense of unworthiness. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not funny enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not good looking enough. And the second reason is bullshit rationalizations. She's not my type anyways. I don't have the time right now. BS. So this was really the first step. Now that we figured out what the godlike mindset is, we need to look at knowing your worth, literally. So when talking to a girl, we often think that we are taking from her. Instead, think of how she wins by talking to you. And as an action step, I want you to list out 10 reasons why she would gain from talking to you. So do that right now. Pause the video, and once you've done it, come back. So I hope that by now you have written out your 10 reasons, and I'll give you my 10 reasons as an example. So I'm more confident than all of her exes combined, but I base my confidence on tangible reality. I have a business which solves a real life problem, and I'm helping real guys improve their life. I speak 6 languages. Now guys, disclaimer. Use your own reasons. Like, this is super key. Like don't be this guy who's like, oh, Johnny's reasons. I'm just going to copy him. No, like, don't do that. It's not going to work in real life. Like, you need to have your own reasons that make you valuable and that give you this belief that you're worth it, that you're worth the girl. I traveled to over 20 countries. I'm in really great shape. I have a great sense of fashion. I'm fun to be around. If she spends time with me, she'll have access to a great network. I'm knowledgeable on finance, business, and crypto. By the way, guys, if you're in crypto, message me. Always love talking about the topic. She'll never meet a guy like me today again. I'm in my 20s, but I have the mindset of someone 20 years older. She'll be able to learn so much by being around me, mindset, history, etc. Now, as I said, warning, make sure you use your own reasons because, whether it is you're really good at chess or you speak Spanish or you know how to dance, it doesn't really matter, but you need to write 10 reasons that make you valuable and better and different than other men. Now that we know we have the godlike mindset and we actually know our worth, you're probably like, well, thank you, Johnny. Like, cool, I have the mindset and that's all good and nice. But what the hell do I do when I'm in that situation where the anxiety kicks in? When I'm in front of that girl in real life and these thoughts, right? Like, what do I do? How do I get out of this situation where I freeze and I can't talk to her? And this is where the 3R system kicks in. And I've called it the 3R system because it's recognizing, reframing, and redirecting your thoughts. So the first step is recognizing. It's listening to your inner monologue when the anxiety appears. What is my current thought process? What is my inner voice telling me? And don't judge the thoughts. This is super key. Because one mistake I did in the beginning when I wanted to improve with women and I started talking to girls is when that thought came, for example, oh, she's too tall for me, I would immediately judge it and I would get in my head and it would make it impossible to approach after that because once you're in your head and you're anxious, like, you're not getting out of that. It's horrible. So don't judge it. An example of inner monologue would be, hey, she's super cute, but she'll probably reject me. And the reason I use this one is because, that was the one I had most of the time. This girl is super cute, but if I talk to her, she's probably going to reject me. People are going to look at me weirdly. It's going to be awkward. Now, once that we recognized the thought, we need to reframe it. And step 2 is really putting a label on that thought instead of identifying with that thought. You are not your thought. We as humans have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of thoughts every single day. You can't just think that's you. So is this thought really me? Why do I have this thought? Is my mind tricking me? Example, if we take the same example as before, she'll probably reject me. We can actually reframe this and think about, is this really me? Why do I have this thought? That's actually bullshit. The only way to know is by talking to her. And you can really reframe any thoughts. So let me give another example. This girl is too tall for me. Is this thought really me? Why do I have this thought? That is right. She is tall. And the reason she's tall is actually a great way for me to build my social muscle and get myself uncomfortable and face my fears. Because maybe you're scared of tall girls. Maybe you're scared of girls that are out of your league. Maybe you're scared of girls who look really good. And so you can really reframe anything. Example, she's out of my league. She is really pretty. This is why I need to take action. Reframe everything. Use everything to your advantage. Squeeze out your demons and your limiting beliefs in your advantage. And the last step is redirecting. So none of this stuff matters if you don't redirect this positive thought into action, aka approaching her. Like, I'm going to come back to this because this is so key. None of this matters, recognizing and reframing, if you don't actually approach a girl. At the end of the day, this is the most important part. Now, if you thought you'd get away with watching this quick training, you're mistaken. Here comes the challenge. And your 7-day goal for the next 7 days is to, number one, secure a date from cold approach. Just imagine if you did that. Amazing. I would be super proud of you. Second goal is we want to destroy your fear of rejection for life. And last but not least, become the type of guy who can just talk to any girl and create attraction. Like, forget about the approach, forget about the date. But just imagine if you could build this skill that takes other guys years within a few days of like talking to any girl. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be amazing? Now the rules, number one, for the next 7 days, you will approach one girl every single day. Second rule is don't focus on what to say or the outcome. Really focus on the process. As corny as it sounds, focus on actually doing the thing. And you'll realize that, holy shit, maybe this is a little harder than you thought. And that's good. And really implement the key lessons in this video. And feel free to share your results under this video. So just write a comment after a few days. I'm going to answer all the comments. I read all of them. So, I'm here. And let's talk about the common questions I get from guys. What if I've never done this before? Good. This is your chance to do something you've never done before. Every person who's ever achieved something in life has at some point not done the thing. Crazy, I know. Like whether it's, a business guy or an athlete, like you're not born with that thing. Same for me. I had to start somewhere. I'm not the type of guy to approach girls like that. I wasn't either. I used to think that I was shy. I used to think I was the type of guy who cannot approach girls and talk to girls. And last but not least, I'll freeze and embarrass myself. Yes, probably. You will embarrass yourself. Like one girl is going to reject you. One is going to, have a little smile and leave. But you can choose to compress this embarrassment into 7 days or 5 years. It's up to you. And if you ask me, I would 9 times out of 10 rather compress discomfort and growth into less time. But the amount of guys I see who are 28, 30, 35, 50 years old and still haven't fixed this part of their life is crazy. Do you want to be that guy? Do you want to be that guy who's 55 and still hasn't fixed this? No, you don't. And I'll leave you guys with this quote of Henry David Thoreau. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. What is called resignation is confirmed desperation. What a G quote. Like, what a G this guy was to have this, to see life this way 100, 200 years ago. So guys, leaving you on this beautiful quote from a G Henry. Let's fucking go. Let's make it happen. And I'll read all of your comments next time. See you soon.